Okay, today I'm going to cover lower body. In my last post, I put up an upper body workout that you can do from your home training, as I do here in my garage. So here's a little lower body workout that I do simply with a set of dumbbells or kettlebells like you can see below, and at the same time using my Ancore Training system, which again you can also substitute with some resistance bands if that's all you have. But here we go. So first thing I do is start with a warm-up. So I'll jump on the stationary bike. At home here I've got a Concept 2 bike ERG, and so what I'll do is I'll start off with a certain effort and just build that effort up, or watts as I see on my screen, progressively for a 5-minute warm-up, and then right after that I get right into my workouts. So first exercise for lower body I do is split squats, is an example. So some people call this a lunge. Placed apart, dumbbells, and focus on moving vertically only. So you can see I'm only moving like I'm inside of like an elevator shaft. So you're not going forward, and you're putting a majority of your work and your weight on your back leg. So if you don't feel much from your front leg, you're probably doing it right. You want that back leg to do a majority of the work, especially as a cyclist. A majority of the work we do is obviously in that front leg. So we want to develop that upper part of our quadricep called the rectus femoris, and some people will say your psoas or hip flexor as well. So do one side and then the other. Again, I'll give you a bit of description on maybe resistance and as well repetitions, but don't be too concerned by the exact weight to start with and or repetitions. 8 to 12 repetitions on each side, and pretty much through everything in this workout is about right. So like in the upper body workouts, I reciprocate exercises, so we do opposite muscle groups or opposite movements, as I like to say, back and forth. So following the split squats, left and right side, next up is the single leg pull, again, left and right side. And then what we do is we move back and forth, a set of the split squats followed by the set of the leg pull. And again, don't focus too much on repetitions, especially at first. Just do the repetitions as best you can. And after a set of these, single leg pull, you would again move back to split squats. Often I saw messages last time I posted how many sets. I'd generally say 3 to 4 sets is a great place to start. So let me now show you the single leg pull. So heel on top of the ball or slightly over the ball. Start with your hands to your side, hips up, and leg pull. Again, once I've done one side, I won't perform all the repetitions, obviously, then do the other side. So and again, hands in is a bit easier. Hands out is actually a bit harder because you can't hold your hips up as easy. So put your hands where you feel right, and keep your hips up as high as possible. Make that the focus, as well as your opposite leg straight. So again, split squat, left and right, single leg pull, left and right. Then I would now get back up and perform the split squat once again. Try and rest as little as possible. I like to keep things going. You know, you're resting one set of muscle groups while you work the other. So just go back and forth and keep the pace up as best you can. Following the split squat and leg pull combo, next up I like to do the single deadlift and single knee pull combo. So for single deadlifts, what I do is standing on one leg, again, unilateral exercises left and right individually. So leg back, yeah. Basically pivoting on one hip or one leg. Once you've done one side, then you move to the other. Again, shoulders down and back, all movement or majority of movement in your hip joint, You can slightly bend your knee as you're coming down, but don't make it a squat. Pivot through the hip, and you'll primarily feel, let's say, hamstring and glute. So basically pivoting at the hip. Hopefully, again, you can see some of these movements is quite critical or important on bike. Now, once you've done your left and right side, put your dumbbells down. Now we move on to the reciprocal or the opposite exercise, which is single knee pull. So for these, grab your exercise ball behind you, single leg on the ball, hands on something. I'm using my trusty cooler here, and opposite leg straight. Once I do one leg, then I do the other. And again, try and run the same order. In the single deadlift, if I was to do my right leg first and then my left leg, I would come here and follow that same order, so right leg, left leg. The most difficult part of this is typically to keep the opposite leg pushed straight, and I'll try my best here. And again, now I would go back to the single deadlift and complete my right and left side, moving back and forth between these two exercises for 3 to 4 sets. And again, don't get too focused on the number of repetitions. Work within your ability. Focus on the quality over the quantity. Okay, next up, after the single deadlift and single knee pull, I move to what I call leg sweep out. Now, I've got the Ancore Training system, which I've got myself an ankle strap, and you can do this attached to your ankle, and I get 2 straps, so it makes it a little bit easier. Obviously, I don't have to go back and forth moving the straps. You buy them on Amazon for a 2-for-1 deal. If you don't have this, get a good old trusty resistance band. Like red might work for this. Black, I've got all the colors here, might be a bit too much for some, so maybe the red, and again, you can experiment with the right resistance band for yourself. But so I've got this, so let me show you. We start, okay, with the leg crossed over the other, sit up nice and tall, good posture, and focus on a sweeping movement. As you notice, I'm not doing a straight leg, knees bent, and I'm sweeping. So the femur is not only abducting or moving out, it's also rotating externally. So leg sweep out. Left leg, now I would spin it around to the other side, move the cooler, and I would do my right leg. Following leg sweep out, left and right side, then we move on to leg sweep in, as you can imagine. So start with your leg outward, sort of the finishing point of leg sweep out, and leg sweep in. Again, femur is not only moving in and out, adducting, but it's also rotating. So knee about 45 degrees. And again, sit up nice and tall and move through. Again, a great hip mobility and strengthening movement to stabilize not only the hip joint, lower back, and knee, but just develop more power through your quad and hamstring as well. So very, very important exercise, especially with those with tight hips, because of all the continuous just pedaling or somewhat undynamic movement of cycling. Okay, following leg sweep in, leg sweep out, again, either with the Ancore Training system or with some tubing or resistance band, I like to finish up with, let's call it some torso or core exercises, you might call it. I'll do that on the same day as lower body. So what I'll do is get an exercise ball and lie back. You might have seen me do this in other posts. Torso flexion and rotation. So twisting, up, twisting. So not only am I flexing the spine, not lifting the spine, imagine like a wave crashing over, but I'm also twisting. And then make sure you get that full stretch back. And again, it's about, range of motion in the quality of the movement versus just banging off a lot of reps. And again, stronger athletes can hold a weight above their head, a dumbbell, And you may just extend your arms a little further if you only have one weight choice to make a little more resistance, or bring it a little bit closer. Okay, following torso flexion rotation, we're going to move to torso extension rotation. Again, the opposite of the torso flexion. So, take your exercise ball. You need to use the wall for this. So find yourself some space. I have to leave my garage and find some space as well. Heels up against the wall, hands above your head, and again, extension and then rotation. Again, not just focusing on, number of reps, but the quality of reps. So trying to arch your back as far as you can back, even lift your chin up, and then rotating, and then alternating left and right side. And that concludes my lower body session. And I will do more of these upper and lower body workouts that you can do from home in the future as well. But hopefully you can combine the upper body workout that I posted recently with this lower body workout. Maybe each twice weekly. You could do upper body on Monday, the lower body workout on Tuesday, take Wednesday off, ride, and Thursday and Friday once again do the upper and lower body. Give that a shot for 4 to 6 weeks, and then typically your body's adjusted or adapted, and it's good to change things up so that as they say, you don't plateau, and you provide yourself with some new exercises to challenge yourself, and I'll hopefully post some more for you guys in the future. All right, hopefully you can make this workouts work for you.